Good day, dear students. In today's lesson, we will be doing conditionals in English language. First of all, what are conditionals? Conditionals are statements or sentences which describe the result of something that might happen in the present or in the future, or might have happened but it didn't in the past. They are made using different English verb tenses. Sometimes we call them if clauses. Now, conditionals are of four types. Today we're going to do the first two. The first one is called the zero conditional. We can make a zero conditional sentence with two present simple verbs, one in the if clause and one in the main clause. Now, how do we form it? If plus present simple, which will be your if clause, and present simple tense in the main clause. This conditional is used when the result will always happen. So, if water reaches 100 degrees, it always boils. It's a fact. I'm talking in general, not about one particular situation. The result of the if clause is always the main clause. The if in this conditional can usually be replaced by when without changing the meaning. Let's have a look at some examples. For example, if water reaches 100 degrees, it boils. It's always true. There can't be a different result sometimes. If I eat peanuts, I am sick. This is true only for me, maybe not for everyone, but it's still true that I'm sick every time I eat peanuts. It's because I'm allergic. Let's look at some more examples of zero conditionals. Remember, zero conditionals are used when we are sure about a fact, when you can prove something. If people eat too much, they get fat. If you touch a fire, you get burned. People die if they don't eat. You get water if you mix hydrogen and oxygen. Snakes bite if they are scared. If babies are hungry, they cry. You can see in these examples that the if clause takes the simple present tense and the main clause also takes the simple present tense. Moving on to the first conditionals. The first conditional has the present simple after if. That is, in the if clause, you're going to use the present simple, and then the future simple in the main clause. If present simple, this is how you're going to form it. If plus present simple, and in the main clause, will plus infinitive. Infinitive is called the base form. It's used to talk about things which might happen in the future. Possibility. Of course, we can't know what will happen in the future, but this describes possible events or things which could easily come true. Let's look at some examples. If it rains, I won't go to the park. If I study today, I'll go to the party tonight. If I have enough money, I will buy some new shoes. She'll be late if the train is delayed. She'll miss the bus if she doesn't leave soon. If I see her, I'll tell her. You can notice in these examples that the if clause takes the simple present tense and the main clause uses will and infinitive, which is the base form of the verb. Now, the if clause can come in the beginning. You can use the if clause in the beginning and the main clause later, or you can use the main clause first and the if clause or the conditional clause later. Remember, if shows the condition. Now let's compare the first and the zero conditional. The first conditional describes a particular situation, whereas the zero conditional describes what happens in general. For example, zero conditional. If you sit in the sun, you get burned. Here, I'm talking about every time a person sits in the sun. The burning is a natural consequence of the sitting. But first conditional, if you sit in the sun, you'll get burned. Here, I'm talking about what will happen today. Another day might be different. Okay? I hope the concept is clear. There's not much of a difficulty in here. With that, we come to the end of our lesson. Hope you have understood well.